Okay, so picture Switzerland for a second. If I asked you to, like, grab a napkin and sketch the Swiss economy, what are you drawing?
Oh, that's easy. It's a banker, right. In a ridiculously nice suit, probably checking a watch that costs more than my car.
Right. Standing next to a vault. Or maybe eating some fancy chocolate.
Exactly. That's the postcard version. It's all very clean, very quiet, very white collar.
But today, we're basically ripping up that postcard. I've got our hands on this incredible data set, a list of 50 specific job openings across Switzerland, all in the industrial and technical sectors.
And the numbers in there, I mean, they're kind of shocking.
They completely flipped the script on who you think makes the real money in Europe. We're talking up to 15,000 Swiss francs a month.
Which is what, over 15,000 euros per month?
And not for CEOs.
Right.
We're talking about people building tunnels, fixing high-voltage grids,
Yeah.
even butchers.
And that's really the mission for this deep dive, isn't it? We need to decode this, not just what these jobs pay, but why.
Yes, what is the economic logic that says a tunnel worker should earn more than, say, a marketing director in another country?
And for you listening, the big question is, how do you actually get one of these golden tickets if you don't have a Swiss passport? Is it even possible?
So let's just dive in. We have to start at the very top. I was scrolling through the list, and the highest number, it wasn't what I expected at all.
No, it's not some tech bro. It's heavy industry. The top role is the Senior Infrastructure Program Manager.
At a staggering 15,000 Swiss francs a month. I mean, just to put that in perspective, that's like 16,500 US dollars every single month.
It's a huge sum, but you have to look past the sticker price. Why? Why that high?
Right.
This isn't a role you just stumble into. The listing specifies over 10 years of experience in, and this is key, multi-site industrial projects.
So you're not just sitting in an office sending emails. You're actually out there managing physical construction across different locations.
Correct. And think about the liability. If a software project ships late, people get annoyed. If a bridge isn't built to code or a factory is delayed 6 months.
You're talking millions in losses.
Yeah.
Or worse.
Exactly. That salary reflects the sheer weight of that responsibility. You are paid to make sure nothing catastrophic happens.
And the bonuses mentioned. It says performance and milestone bonus. So you only get the extra cash if the concrete is poured on time.
High stakes, high reward. But what I find really fascinating is comparing that sort of old world job to the new tech roles, because they are right on its heels.
Oh yeah, I saw that. The advanced robotic software engineer. That's at 14,000 a month.
And right behind that, the AI and machine learning engineer at 13,500. Now here's a really important distinction for anyone looking to move there.
What's that?
The infrastructure manager. That person needs fluent German. They have to deal with local councils, permits, construction crews.
But the tech roles. The source material says English is the main requirement, like B2 level or higher.
Exactly. If you're coding a robot's brain in Zurich, the language in the office is English. It makes these roles way more accessible to global talent.
You don't need 5 years of German lessons. You just need to be really good at Python.
And the bonus structure is different too. It's all about innovation and deployment success.
So making it work in the real world, not just in a lab.
Right. And speaking of making things work, look at the cybersecurity infrastructure specialist. 12,800.
That feels exceptionally high, even for cybersecurity.
It is, but think about what they're protecting. This is Switzerland. You're guarding banking systems, pharmaceutical secrets, the national power grid.
So if a bank gets hacked, that's bad. If a chemical plant's safety systems get hacked.
It's a potential catastrophe. That salary is what we call a critical infrastructure premium. You're being paid an insane amount of money for peace of mind, for nothing to happen.
Okay, so that's the top tier, the architects. But this is where the data gets, for me, really, really interesting. Let's say I don't have a PhD in machine learning. Let's say I'm willing to get my hands dirty, like really dirty.
Right. Now you're entering the world of what I call danger money. And this is where the Swiss system is just different. In most countries, manual labor is undervalued. Here, the laws are structured to pay huge premiums for risk and discomfort.
The first one that just jumped off the page was the tunnel construction specialist. 10,000 francs a month. That is more than a lot of corporate managers make in London or Paris.
It is, but let's break down how they get to that number. The base is strong, sure, but the source lists an underground premium.
And a huge night shift allowance. It says plus 20 to 40%.
Right, so think about that lifestyle. You're working hundreds of meters underground, in the dark, probably while everyone you know is asleep.
Breathing recycled air.
That 10,000 francs is compensation. You are literally selling your circadian rhythm to your employer.
And if you have a specific skill on top of that, the tunnel equipment mechanic, the person fixing the giant drills inside the mountain, they get even more, 10,500 CHF.
That's the perfect sweet spot, right? You have a high-demand trade skill, and you're willing to do it in a hazardous environment.
It's one thing to fix an engine in a nice, clean workshop.
Can you do it in a damp, dark tunnel at 3 a.m. with rock dust everywhere? If the answer is yes, the market has to pay you that much to get you to do it.
And it's not just underground. The high-voltage industrial electrician is at 9,800.
And again, look for the allowance. High-voltage risk premium.
Yeah.
One wrong move there, and it's not a little shock, it's over. You're working on the main grid. That salary is basically an insurance policy paid directly to you.
Okay, I have to ask about the jobs we usually think of as, low pay, butchers, cleaners.
Yeah.
In the US or UK, that's often minimum wage. Here, it's a different story.
This is a great example of how the system just lifts the entire floor. Take the butcher, or as they call it, the meat processing specialist, up to 6,500 a month.
That's over 6,600 euros for a butcher.
How? Well, look at the conditions. Cold zone premium. You're working all day in a refrigerator, basically. 3 or 4 degrees Celsius. And the shifts start at like 4 a.m.
So they're literally putting a price tag on being cold and waking up early.
They are. And the cleaners. A specialized industrial cleaner gets 6,000 CHF. But the key word there is specialized.
Right. The source mentions a hazardous materials premium.
These people aren't vacuuming an office. They're cleaning refineries, chemical plants. They're dealing with stuff you do not want to touch without serious training.
So even cleaning has a high barrier to entry. You need safety certifications.
You can't just hire someone off the street to clean a chemical reactor. The liability is just too high.
One more from this category that blew my mind. Wind turbine technician, 9,200.
Same logic. Height and hazard premium. You're climbing a giant pole in the middle of nowhere, often in terrible weather. Inconvenience plus danger equals cash.
So it really seems like Swiss labor law has this formula. It's like base salary plus.
Plus a rigid percentage for every single thing that makes the job unpleasant. Night shift, that's plus 15 to 40%. Hazardous zone, add another percentage. Cold, here's some more money. It's not about your boss being generous. It's written into the collective labor agreements.
All right, let's pivot. We've done danger. We've done heavy lifting. Now for the other side of the Swiss coin, precision.
The precision economy. This is where you get paid, not for risking your body, but for being absolutely microscopically perfect.
And the classic example from the list has to be the precision watch components specialist.
Of course. Based in the Watch Valley. 9,000 CHF a month.
And the bonus structure is fascinating. Your KPI is based on precision quality metrics.
Just imagine that pressure. Your bonus depends on micron-level accuracy. It's a totally different kind of stress from the tunnel worker, but it is definitely stress. It's mental exhaustion.
Then you've got the huge pharmaceutical industry, mostly in Basel. So many roles there in the data.
Basel is the engine room. And you see roles like the pharmaceutical production technician earning 8,700 CHF.
With a sterile zone premium.
Right. Think about that. You're in a full clean room suit all day. You go through airlocks. You can't just pop outside for a coffee. You have to follow GMP.
That acronym, GMP, was all over the source material.
It's the Bible of pharma. Good manufacturing practice. It means perfect documentation, perfect hygiene, perfect process. You are paid for the discipline to never, ever cut a corner.
And if you're an engineer there, the chemical process development engineer is at 12,000.
Which is a huge salary. But if you can tweak a process to get just 1% more yield from a blockbuster drug, you've paid for your own salary for the next decade.
Okay, there's one role that sort of bridges this high-tech world with high-stress conditions. The data center infrastructure technician. 10,800 CHF.
Ah, the guardians of the cloud.
It sounds kind of cushy, but then you see the schedule. 204/7 rotation.
And that's the catch. Servers don't sleep. You're working in a high-security, windowless building, probably watching cooling systems at 4 in the morning.
If the cooling fails, the servers literally melt.
Exactly. It's long periods of boredom punctuated by moments of sheer terror. You're paid to be there for that one moment.
Which brings us perfectly to the catch. Because it's so easy to look at these numbers, 10K, 12K, 15K, and think, right, I'm moving to Switzerland. But it's not that simple, is it?
Not at all. And the first big reality check in the data is housing. Did you notice the pattern in the accommodation section?
Yeah. Almost every single one says Not typical.
Exactly. This idea that you get a fancy expat package with a corporate apartment, forget it. The data says that's not how it works.
The only exception was for tunnel and mountain construction sites, where it said project housing possible.
Which probably means a shared container or a barracks near the worksite. It's not going to be a chalet. For everyone else, you're on your own in the open market.
And the Swiss rental market is tough.
It's brutal. So yeah, you're earning 10,000 francs, but a massive chunk of that is immediately gone on rent and mandatory health insurance. The salary is high because the cost of living is high.
The other huge barrier seems to be language. We touched on it, but it's a major theme.
It's the great divide. If you're in AI, robotics, high tech, the source says English is fine.
But for almost every other job,
It's German. The electrician, the plumber, the butcher, the welder, they all require at least A2 or B1 German.
so you can be the best welder in the world, certified up to your eyeballs, ready to earn that $7,500 a month. But if you can't read the safety warnings in German,
The door is shut. It's a safety thing.
Yeah.
On a construction site, you can't have a misunderstanding about a high voltage line. You have to be able to scream "Es stop P" in German and have everyone understand you instantly.
okay, so hurdles, language, housing. But let's say I'm listening from outside the EU, I'm a third country national. Is any of this even a remote possibility for me?
This is the golden ticket question. And the source material is actually surprisingly encouraging, but with big caveats.
I saw that. Under third country nationals, for almost every job, it just says possible.
It does, but possible doesn't mean easy. It means there's a pathway, but you have to fit a very specific profile.
So what's the profile? Who has a real shot?
There are really two main lanes. Lane one is the super high-skilled, the AI engineer, the senior manager. The company will sponsor you because you have knowledge they can't find locally. That's the standard high-skilled visa route.
In lane 2.
This is the interesting one. Documented labor shortages. The data specifically calls out roles like butchers, dairy production specialists, and HVAC technicians.
Wait, a dairy production specialist? Like a cheesemaker?
Yes. The source explicitly says it's realistic via employer sponsorship because of a labor shortage. Switzerland produces a lot of cheese and chocolate. They need skilled people to process the milk, and they can't find enough Swiss people willing to do that hard, cold, shift-based work.
So if you're a skilled dairy worker from, say, New Zealand or Canada, you might actually have a path.
You do. It's pure supply and demand. The market need can override the usual visa rules. The same goes for specialized welders, too.
That is just wild. We always think of visas for coders, not cheesemakers.
But, and this is the most important part, you need the paperwork.
Right. Certification is king.
It's not just king, it's God. You cannot just say, hey, I've been fixing trucks for 20 years, I'm great. You need the diploma.
The aircraft mechanic needs an EASA license. The electrician needs a recognized diploma.
It creates this really high barrier to entry, which in turn protects those high wages. Because it's hard to get in, the labor supply is controlled, and the salaries stay high.
So let's just zoom out. We've looked at 50 jobs, and the story they tell is not what you'd expect. We've seen salaries that would make a banker jealous, paid to people in hard hats and hairnets.
It's a landscape where risk and discomfort are monetized. Switzerland is effectively saying, we will pay you a premium to be uncomfortable.
Whether that's being cold in a meat locker for 6,500 francs,
Or being underground in a tunnel for 10,000.
or stressed out about a cyber attack for nearly 13,000.
The money is definitely there. But the Swiss dream is strictly regulated. It demands German for the trades, certifications for almost everyone, and a tolerance for some pretty tough conditions.
It really makes you rethink the whole university versus trade school debate, which leads me to the question I want to leave everyone with.
Go on.
Okay, so a tunnel specialist can make $10,000 a month. An AI engineer makes $13,500. The gap is there, sure, but it's not a chasm. So when you factor in the cost of a master's degree, the student loans, the years not earning, does the physical risk of the manual trades actually offer a better return on investment than the safe path of higher education?
That is the 10,000 franc question, isn't it? And in Switzerland, I think the answer would surprise a lot of people.
Something to think about. Thanks for diving in with us.
Anytime.
Catch you next time.